Hello, I'm Gavin Ashenden, and this is the first of my dispatches from Europe. It's really getting very exciting here. No one knows quite what's going to happen, but the old order is being shaken. During the last few years, one of the things that the governments have allowed, and we don't know the official reason, is thousands and thousands of men of military age, without women and children on the whole, crossing the channel in dinghies. I mean, 24,000 this year. I think 2 years ago, a record number of 45,000. And they get taken to hotels where they're put up with a great expense to the taxpayer. They give them mobile phones, bank accounts. Many of them begin to work in the black economy. And the difficulty is that local communities are entirely changed by the sudden arrival of about 40 men from the Middle East who've not got much to do and spend a certain amount of their time harassing women. And when the women complain, the police arrest the women. The question is, when will the British have decided they've got enough of this? One of the ways in which the British have decided to show their displeasure is by beginning to have the temerity to fly the national flag, the Cross of St. George. The police don't like this and from time to time arrest the British for flying their national flag. And they deem it a hate crime. So one of the exciting things that's happened recently, you may or may not know, but our roads are in bad repair. The economy is bad. They've taxed the rich, so the rich have left the country. And as a result, there isn't enough money to mend the roads, so they have holes in them. And so one of the ways in which resistance is expressing itself is people taking spray cans of white and red paint, and they spray the whole white, and then they put the Cross of St. George across it, and every pothole becomes a sign of resistance to what the government is doing, and effectively to the Islamicization of our country. This flow of illegal immigrants, this Islamicization, essentially this replacement strategy is going to go on until there is some serious civil disorder. One of the difficulties I face is that I've known about this for some time. I used to work when I was a university professor with some Islamic colleagues. We got on very well. I was much more liberal in those days. And so they told me what the Islamic strategy was going to be in Europe, and particularly in this country here. And it was going to be that they would flood certain cities, and our demography and democracy would intertwine together. And as the demographics intensified and they had the larger number of people, they would have a democratic vote, and they would vote in Islamic mayors. I think about 15 cities in our country now have Islamic mayors. And then the Islamic mayors would invite a referendum from their people as to what kind of laws they would like to follow. And since 43% of the Islamic population of this country have come out and said they want Sharia law, a choice, there would come a point when a city would hold a referendum and the majority of the city would ask for Sharia law. Would they have a democratic right to that or not? Well, that's the exciting thing. Since there are between 8 and 15 cities where there's a Muslim democratic majority, one could imagine a situation where the country began to be partitioned. It happened before in Lebanon, and there would be an Islamic part of the country and a non-Islamic part of the country. Well, we don't have much influence on government policies, although I'm very pleased to say that in the spirit of Boudica or Boadicea, there are English women who are determined to protect their daughters, even if their underperforming men have been so browbeaten that they daren't take to the streets. And the English women are beginning to kick up a fuss. And that's one of the reasons why the government is rethinking its policy, but it has yet to change it. So the question is going to be, at what stage does England become the new Lebanon, where we find ourselves with different jurisdictions and a separation of not only political, but also racial, but most importantly, religious territories? We want to reclaim Christendom. So the first thing we have to do is to tell the truth about it. Next thing I'm going to go and do is buy some spray paint, and I'm going to go around looking for some potholes that I can decorate with the Cross of St. George. St. George was, after all, a Catholic saint. and he fought the dragon, who is a symbol of evil. I'm really rather pleased that the English have finally decided to adopt a Catholic saint as a sign of their national resistance to the Islamification of this country by governments who have sold out completely. Well, that's the latest on the dispatches from Europe for now. I'm rather expecting that each week it'll grow ever more exciting. Hold on to your hat, subscribe to Reclaiming Christendom, and thank you for being for joining us on the journey and being part of this great adventure.